Director Edgar Wright was originally approached to direct the Scott Pilgrim film in 2004, but didn't officially agree to make the adaptation until after he directed Hot Fuzz in 2007. Author Brian Lee O'Malley named Scott Pilgrim after a song by Plumtree of the same name. O'Malley claims that no one actually dies in the comics, but instead respawn at their houses, having learned their lesson. Director Edgar Wright made sure the actors didn't blink during takes to emulate the style of Japanese anime. Brian Lee O'Malley and his wife make a cameo appearance in Lee's palace during the movie. The film is filled with numerical allusions relating to each of the Evil X's numbers. For example, Matthew Patel points with one finger, while Lucas Lee points with two. During the film, Scott is seen wearing a shirt with the word zero on it, and he frequently drinks Coke Zero, alluding to the fact that he isn't one of the Evil X's. Scott's base is a Rickenbacker 4003, which would cost around $2.5 grand in Canadian dollars. Scott and Lucas Lee's final exchange is based on a real experience Edgar Wright had with the lead singer of The Hives. While backstage, Wright told the singer he was a big fan, to which the singer replied, "Why wouldn't you be?" The flashback scenes that Ramona has during the movie are all drawn by Oscar Wright, Edgar Wright's brother. Ramona's phone number in the film is 212-664-7665, a number obtained and used by Universal Studios to avoid using fake 555 numbers. Most of the effects used in the film are hand-drawn to give an authentic comic book feel. Comedian Bill Hader provides his voice for most of the voiceovers in the film, including the voice in Ninja Revolution. A close-up shot of Ramona's feet during one of her dates with Scott is a nod to Quentin Tarantino, who's known for having somewhat of a foot fetish in his cinematography. Edgar Wright didn't want any British actors for his first North American film, but hadn't realized that Satya Bhabha, who plays Matthew Patel, was British until after he got the job. Ellen Wong, who plays Knives Chow, is 3 years older than Michael Cera, even though Scott is a few years older than Knives. Johnny Simmons, who plays young Neil, got offered the role over Facebook. The actors who played the vegan police are the only actors over the age of 30 during the filming of Scott Pilgrim. Beck wrote all of the songs for Sex Bob-omb in the film. Michael Cera could already play bass before he got the role of Scott Pilgrim. Any other actors or actresses had to learn the instruments if they didn't know them. Lucas Lee's stunt doubles in the movie are actual doubles for Chris Evans. In order to get permission to use Zelda music in the film, Edgar Wright wrote a letter to Shigeru Miyamoto of Nintendo, calling the music "Nursery Rhymes of a Generation." Shigeru agreed and was even given an early screening of the film. In the scene where Scott throws a package into the trash behind his back, actor Michael Cera took over 30 takes to get the package in. One of the scrapped endings of the film featured Gideon turning into a robot. Michael Cera was the first and only person in mind to play Scott Pilgrim after Edgar Wright saw his performance in Arrested Development. The fact that Scott tells Ramona about Pac-Man at the party when he first meets her is actually true. Pac-Man was originally Puck-Man due to his similar shape to a hockey puck, but the name may have been too easy to vandalize, so it was changed. Mae Whitman, who plays the female Evil X, also played Michael Cera's character in Arrested Development, George Michael Bluth's girlfriend, for a few episodes. Ellen Wong auditioned 3 separate times for the role of Knives, but only got the part when Edgar Wright found out she was a green belt in Taekwondo. The cheat code for turning on blood in the Scott Pilgrim game is ABAXABB, which is the same code in Mortal Kombat. Scott's sprites from the Xbox game were used in an after-credit scene in the movie, which was released 2 months before the game. Near the end of the first level in the game is the spray-painted name QPEC, the name Brian Lee O'Malley uses when he records music. The code in game to turn health into currency is the Konami code, a code used in many games by Konami like Castlevania to get an in-game bonus. Every character in the game's exit animation is a reference to other games like Mega Man, Mario, and Kirby. The character select screen in the game is a reference to Super Mario 2's character select screen. Both the comic and the screenplay of Scott Pilgrim were written at the same time after the release of the first novel. However, there are a few differences between the two, so the last 15 facts will be pointing out a few of these differences. Though the books take place over the course of a year, the movie takes place in just a few weeks. Lucas Lee in the comics wasn't interested in defeating Scott, and even offered to throw the match for a bribe. After defeating Lucas Lee in the comics, Scott is rewarded with the Mithril skateboard. Scott receives the power of love in the movie during his fight with Gideon in the Chaos Theater, but in the comic he receives it during his fight with Roxy Richer. In the film, Scott receives an extra life from defeating the Katiyanagi twins, instead of after defeating Todd Ingram. Subspace was only briefly mentioned in the film when Ramona delivers a package to Scott, whilst in the comics it plays a major part in the final events and Scott's fight with Gideon. In the film, Gideon uses a mind control chip on Ramona, but in the comic he controls her by using a power called the Glow that he also uses to alter Scott's memories. A few plot arcs go unused in the movie, like Scott getting a job, Todd cheating on Envy with their band's drummer, and Steven Stills being gay. In the comic, Scott uses his hands to describe Ramona's hair, while in the film, he uses a doodle. That doodle was made by Brian Lee O'Malley himself. Scott surprises his friends with his fighting abilities in the movie, while in the comics, he's a well-known fighter. Knives and Ramona fight in the second book in the reference library, as opposed to in the movie where they fight during Scott's fight with Gideon. Scott tricks Todd into drinking half and half in the film, but Todd drinks it knowingly in the novel. Roxy is spelled R-O-X-Y in the movie, most likely to give her name 4 letters to correlate with her being the 4th Evil X. The Amp vs. Amp battle with the Katiyanagi twins never happens in the comics. Ramona is depicted as more hold in the film, due to the original ending being Knives and Scott ending up together, but Brian Lee O'Malley thought a better ending would be Scott ending up with Ramona, because that's who he's been fighting for the entire film. Hey everyone, thanks for watching another 50 Fast Facts. I wanted to cover Scott Pilgrim because it's one of my favorite series, so I hope you guys really enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. And if you really like this video, smack that like button or let me know down in the comments. Who's your favorite SP character? Let me know down below. Thanks again. Until next time.